Hey, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today. We're here at the Jazwares booth checking out the AEW figures this weekend. I'm now joined by the living legend, Dustin Rhodes, the
Oh,
natural.
you're very kind. Thank you so much.
Well, it's the truth, and it's great to have you here. It's a real pleasure to be able to talk to you and sit this close to you and not get the crap beaten out of me. So thank you.
I'm not going to beat the crap out of you, man. I'm just honored to be here, and I appreciate that very much. This is fun. This is my first toy fair, so yeah.
And you're a man who's had a lot of toys over the years, so I'm impressed they never brought you down for Jax or Mattel or anybody else.
I am kind of shocked at that too, but that's just the way it worked out. So I'm glad I got to come this time. You know, these last couple of days have been eye-opening. It's very overwhelming in this place, man, to see all the. I mean, this is a child's paradise, right? But I don't guess they're allowing any children in.
Child bloggers are allowed in, but otherwise no public, no kids otherwise.
Kids would go crazy. They'd be jumping all over this stuff, playing with all these toys. I mean, there's a lot here. It's pretty awesome.
And there's a lot of man children here, self included. I mean, if you can see the action figure section.
Me too. I'm like 5 years old, guys.
So first things first, AEW's got new figures, courtesy of Jazwares. I'm sure you've taken a look at them, obviously. What do you think about the new figures?
I think the figures are awesome, man. They're very detailed. Some of the most detailed action figures I've ever seen, especially mine. I'm kind of partial to mine because the tattoo on my left arm, which the past action figures that I've had in the past, I had a full bodysuit on, so you didn't really get to see any of my ink. And the one that's very special is my daughter's over here, and it looks just like her. I mean, it's so detailed on the action figure that it is now number one, with all of my action figures that I've had over the years. This is the best one I've ever seen. It's incredible.
See, I was going to ask that question later. See, it beat me to it, but it's good to know that's number one. And that seems to be everybody we talked to has said the same thing, like the Jazwares is their favorite versions of themselves.
They're really cool, man. They're so realistic. And, I mean, they're not all one size. So they're not the cookie cutter action figure. You have, Luchasaurus is taller than a lot of the guys. I'm taller than a lot of the guys, which is different and good because you do the scans of your bodies and things and your faces, and they make it most realistic that they can. It's very nice. They're very nice.
Absolutely. Really, really great figures. Now, coming up next weekend, you're going to be at the AEW Revolution show. You're taking on Jake Hager.
Yeah.
So this has been a match been brewing for a while. I mean, he injured you very, very badly. I'm glad to see you're back and you're all right. But this is a real blood feud here. So what do you expect at Revolution from your opponent?
Jake Hager he's been out of the wrestling industry for quite some time. And, his MMA career is speaking for itself. But it seems like this last fight he was in, although he is undefeated, he couldn't get the job done. So maybe he wasn't tough enough and he had to resort to a low blow, much like he's done with me, and as well as breaking my arm. So talk is over. We've talked enough, Jake, and at Revolution, you and me, one-on-one, you're going to see why I've survived 5 decades.
And how is that arm doing, by the way?
I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. The arm is great, and I'm ready for whatever Jake can throw me. Because whatever he has, I've already been through in my life.
Very good. Now, your brother also has a match against MJF.
Yeah.
MJF's going to get a whooping, but yeah.
The MJF, man, He's got a mouth on him, that boy. He can talk. But Cody, I know personally. And, I grew up with Cody. He's a lot tougher than you think, MJF. You better watch yourself, boy.
So let's just wrap up a little bit with a few more action figure talks. So when you were a kid, I don't know if you basically had your first figure back when Galoob was doing WCW. I'm trying to think, were you a wrestling toy collector ever yourself?
I wasn't. But over the years, I love this stuff now. Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I have a few select items that I will always keep. And, the really special ones out there that come out, I try to nab. But anything to do with Sith Lords and Darth Vader and stuff like that, and the old original Luke Skywalker, and of course Yoda, Obi-Wan. I mean, those guys we grew up on, man, and they're just special. Darth Vader's the greatest character ever, period. The greatest heel in the business.
All right, so last question for you. Your father has had tons of action figures of himself as well, going back from the Hasbro days to Jax, I believe, did at least 1 or 2 of him. Mattel has done a bunch. Do you have a favorite figure of your father?
I think my favorite of Dad's is I can't remember which year it was. But it was pretty recent. He had the bull rope in there with the cowboy hat, the red tights, red and white boots. I just love that one. I mean, they got the detail right on him, on his body, and that's my favorite one. Of course, the old polka dot ones are cool, but it's like that to me was my dad. You know, the one that I'm talking about. So
Very
I
cool.
can't remember which year that came out. It wasn't maybe
Wasn't that
6
recent, but
years
it was-
ago,
yeah.
5 years ago. It's the one with the cowboy hat and the red.
So I'm trying to think. There's like one where he's wearing jeans that might be Tupac with Cody actually.
Good one too. I like that one too. That might be the one. I'm not sure.
He's had a lot of toys.
He has. I have. Lots of action figures. Love it. Got every one of them. I got boxes full of action figures. So.
One day we're gonna take a look at your collection. We'll hopefully get to that some other day.
Man, I've got some old stuff. I've got the old Seth Rollins when he started, which is really cool. I try to hold on to that. But I have a lot of Gold Dust action figures that I, give out to people and give out to kids and things like that. So
I gotta ask you one last question
that's
in
what
that
I
case.
do, is just give out stuff.
That's nice to do that.
Yeah.
I got one last thing. That since you are around all these wrestlers all the time, and folks like me aren't, I go to conventions to get my toys signed by the dudes.
Yeah.
Do you ever go up to your friends backstage and, hey, can I get your autograph on this toy?
Every once in a while, if I have something that I would like to get signed, but I don't normally like to do that because that's, we're at work, and it's like, no, don't bother me type thing, or at least I'm thinking that in my head. So why would I want to do that? Some people don't give a shit and they go out and do it. That's just not me.
Well, that's the stuff I'm
I mean,
doing
if
out there.
somebody is somebody I'm a big fan of, like an actor or a sports star or athlete, comes to one of our shows, and I know that he's coming in a week in advance, I'll go get a football or a basketball and try to have him sign it or at least take a picture.
Very cool. So, Dustin Rhodes, secret action figure collector. Who knew? But now we do. So, Dustin, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys later for more Toy Fair coverage. So stick around. Well, I already said see you later. So goodbye.